Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am Carrick. So we're continuing on into the golden era that is the Burma with 154 construction capacity. Feels good. We're just building all the things right now and getting up some sort of trade networks around the world through colonization, which feels kind of nice. And we're working on getting rid of the censorship finally because I think we can finally move past that. Um, yeah, so I think we're doing honestly. There's about 3 more laws that we kind of need to pass before I think things will really sort of we'll kind of feel like we're set in that sense. We're not even 40 years in. Or wait, no. Yeah, we're coming up on 50 years in the game. We're coming up on 50 years in the game. So I guess it's about time we entered our golden age, right? It's about time. This is the wrong page. Yeah, we have 2 pages here. Queued up a lot of stuff for construction. Okay, so we can actually make the ironclads, but what this will do is this actually lets us upgrade our naval. I think it lets us upgrade our naval fleets. Oh, wait a second. We could give ourselves 3 years. We're only 3 years away. We can hit this in 3 years, and this will give us the malaria technology or whatever to yeah. Analytical philosophy would be a really good thing for our universities. Very good thing for our universities. So maybe this is auto spreading. 5 to 7. Well, if we worked on it, it'd be 5 to 7 months. Let it auto spread. Then we might do psychoanalysis, and then we might move into that. Dang, we are teching up at a rate that I've never really teched up before, to be honest. Man, this mutual fund things would be really good as well for us. Extra port level. So yeah, okay, so this is good. Did our Navy get fully hired on? Is that why we got those extra interest groups? I mean, we're just a more powerful... Yes, finally, we're fully employed here. And if we went up to this, we'd get an extra 1.25 maximum declared interest and a lot more naval power. But we'd be using ironclads instead of man-at-wars, I guess. The shipyards that we have... I mean, technically, we could move these to making steamers and stuff. And if they were making steamers, I think they could be making... This actually says plus 30. How does that... Plus 30 clippers. I'm kind of, I'm most of the time I play this game, I'm quite content to actually just import from England, like the ships that you need. I don't usually worry about it too much. Because it just seems like they always just make that's like one of the few things the AI seems to make plenty of, so. Yeah. I mean, look at this beautiful economy. Grain is cheap, partly because we're importing tons of it. Wood is cheap because we're importing tons of it. That's fine. That's not bad. We are so actually the weapons costs we could do something about that. But look at this. I mean, we're cheap. So cheap grain, cheap services for the people, higher standard of living. We got plenty of paper, which is good because it's bringing the price down a bit because that's a government good use, mostly used in the government buildings. Some of it's actually being consumed because it's so cheap. So that feels really good. We got cheap fish. Everything's just sort of beautifully, like a lot of these inputs, right? These need to be a little bit cheaper to make things run well. A perfect amount of silk coming in from the Chin market. I mean, technically it's like, okay, I guess we could get some more tools. The trade routes are really just flexing beautifully because we've modernized our ports. That's really the kicker here. And and we're doing a lot of trading by land, right? So we don't use We probably have a lot of extra convoys, to be honest. So another lead, we might be building some more lead mines, right? We're building some stuff right now. So it's not even that this is even, there's nothing even really to evaluate here. We're building, I know we're building another one of these. And we're building all this stuff. Are we getting another arms manufacturing? No, let's go in and actually see if there's some modernizations that we can do. Oh, sewing machines. 800 more clothing at the cost of more fabric and more dye. Realistically, we don't need to be building the textile mills that we're building, do we? Because we could just go up to sewing machines. But we'll wait to make that transition. We just need to remember we have that transition in our back pocket. That's right, we're not making ceramics. This would reduce the glass production by 640. It would increase the dye consumption at like just astronomically. We could use a little bit more, we don't need more paper, but again, that's probably, we don't need to build more paper mills, we just need to move up to the next stage there. And we don't have sulfur, like, we don't actually have sulfur. Who's actually, wait a second. Is there a way to just, here, can I just see where sulfur is being produced, like, worldwide? Let this lock in. Or wait. Yeah, if I, like, click on it, oh, no, I don't know. The map modes are, like, import sulfur. I mean, showing the United States in green. I don't know what that means. Like, I guess because they're... Anyways, point of the story is it'd be nice if there's a way just to quickly see that at a glance, like where there's sulfur in the world itself. Oh, the Russian... I was like, what? Did Russia take all that over? No, just Russian market. Gotcha. So we got a green Egypt over here. I mean, eventually we'll have electricity to be able to actually move up to this and make a lot more engines with just a little bit of steel and electricity. So the repeater rifles would be probably better than upgrading the arms industry itself, right? Steel and tools, we got that stuff on deck. And then the breech loaders here. We need more artillery. The cost of steel. The breech loading artillery... and the repeating rifles. We can move up to explosive shells here to get a lot more munitions, which I don't think we need right this second, but eventually I guess we will. Huh. Everything's looking pretty dang good in terms of how things are set up here. This just saves a bunch of laborers, right? This saves a bunch of laborers, so we might as well do that. Some of this stuff saves laborers too, right? Cuts 13,000 laborers will get cut, and it'll make the business more profitable. And then it'll just use transportation, which, if I was to guess, yeah, we're kind of tight on the transportation right now. All of it's coming from pop consumption. Now, transportation is just what's considered a free movement need. This can be substituted with services and automobiles, and then communication needs, which can be substituted with telephones and services. So where's our... How actually, that's... There you go. That's the question here. That's the question here. So if we just do that, we won't even need to import fish for the food industry. That'll balance itself out. Two things. These rail things, we can reduce the infrastructure they get us but trade it for a lot more transportation, which I think could be good. It's saying it'll actually be more profitable for the railway itself. How much would that give us in total? 200, which is quite a bit. Alternatively, we can actually move up to... We're actually on streetlights, but we can actually move up to here. This will use quite a bit of glass and quite a bit of steel. Give us 900 more services. Where's our service situation here? We're actually pretty pushing it up. So yeah. So transportation, I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, we'll definitely be able to, yeah, these conscription camps. I don't really care too much about the conscription offices, to be honest. This will use opium, right? Or to enact first aid. That's actually a really good tech, though. Public trans will consume 200, but it'll just reduce the amount of laborers working in the urban centers. See, right now, I feel like we have a decent amount of just laborers just kind of roaming around in our main states, right? But I don't know, it's actually getting a little bit tighter, and some of these states having some automation and stuff wouldn't be a bad thing. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Anyways, we just chatted for a second there. We're going to let things run. Just that, yeah, I don't know. We're kind of almost getting to the point where we're so well off, we're kind of building for the sake of building. 79% legitimacy, let's go. Petit bourgeois have tanked in their relevance, and that's because we've moved off of mercantilism. %73% chance to hit this. We're not getting very lucky with the rolls as we get further into the game, are we? I'm almost... we could get more universities, or we could just wait till we potentially get to analytical philosophy to upgrade our universities to the final tier. That might be what we do instead. That might be what we do. We might not build more universities. I could see us going through and just building rails everywhere again, and then making that adjustment to switch them to transportation mode. Because that'll cut the infrastructure of all these areas when we do this. So let's add more infrastructure, and then we'll be cutting the infrastructure. We could spend our diplomatic juice here a little bit. Just, nope, they're already super happy with us, so it's whatever. It's whatever. None of this matters. The diplomacy in this game just doesn't matter. As sad as that is, it just doesn't matter. How are we doing on institutions? We could just use more institutions, like getting healthcare institution or getting the home affairs institution. Don't really care about this, to be honest. Those are just some of our colonies that are growing. Protected free speech, let's go. So next we are going to do... I mean, if we did multiculturalism, we really wouldn't even need to do a lot of that automation. So... multiculturalism will literally just let everybody just flow into the country. We'll just have massive migrations into the country. This is only going to anger the petit bourgeois. And then the final thing we pass after this will probably be like a healthcare. Guaranteed liberties will anger the petit bourgeois, but at this point they just kind of won't matter anymore. Lots of people saying that they want censorship to come back. 2 of you guys are not relevant, though, I hate to say, and some of you guys are close to not being relevant. I'm sorry. You guys had a good run. But we're 50 years into the game, and you guys just aren't relevant anymore. So these, yeah, we don't have any use for... Actually, electricity can be used just as a way of heating, I believe. In fact, it's a more effective way to heat than everything but oil. Oil being the best, I guess. But the wood is so cheap. Well, it's not as cheap as electricity. So people should just be using this to consume, pop consumption. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over here, and we're going to adjust these to use the electricity here. That's going to be just a ton of wood. Which is going to make this not so... And, you know, honestly, at this point, yeah. At this point, I think we can literally cut this. I don't know why that was around as long as it was. And because of that rebalancing here of the wood, we might actually be able to build more logging camps in order to get more hardwood. We're maxed out here, though. How did the infrastructure get so low here? Steel mills are unhappy because of why. Paper mills are unhappy. What's going on, guys? Oh, the price of wood has gone up a bit, right? So the paper mills are unhappy because of that. Steel mills are just... Apparently we're just not using enough steel. We know we're going to need to use more with this. What else uses steel? Arms industry, which we want to upgrade those production modes eventually. The ship, honestly, let's update our shipping yards to use to make steel ships and such. More engines, more steel, less wood, less fabric, more coal. That looks good to me. I think that'll make sense. It's going to use only 20. So we technically could go up another 20 naval. How many people do we have in Pegu to be able to do something like this, to go up to 20 naval bases? It's only 10,000 per, right? Or sorry, 1,000 people per, I think. The tool works is happy. The furniture factory is happy, so it makes me wonder, yeah, we could just, let's make more furniture and let's make more tools. This is all happening in Burma. So again, it's like, let's just keep making rails in Burma. Somehow we're making a huge amount of money, where the investment pool is kicking in full force right now. The investment pool, it looks like by default on a daily basis we're getting about 25,000 from it. Multiculturalism has a 30% chance to pass. Apparently the trade unions aren't really that interested in that, so they're not helping out there. We're getting to this weird point where it's like we're kind of just building for the sake of building now. Yeah, we're not getting any luck at all. Following must be true for 5 years. No monarchy. No civil war. So in 5 years, I guess this will be done. Whatever, I don't know what that'll get us exactly, but that'll be neat. We're literally just building the naval base because it'll help the shipping, shipyards actually. Well, okay, we might need to actually import clippers at this point if we're not making any clippers. Except we're not using clippers, we're using steamers, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. The fishing wharfs are just using steamers. Now, why is it saying they're only using 10? Should be using, oh, 10. They only need 10. Okay. I mean, it's saying 8. Why is it saying that in red like it's a bad thing? I mean, weekly balance is a little bit low. Okay, so the productivity is below its wage. Price of fish is a little bit down. Okay, coal. Coal has come up in price. There we go. We found the culprit. We found the culprit. 2 more items. Of course, one of them is a trade route, which is kind of critical to know. That isn't our control. Stuff like this just drives me absolutely bonkers. Do not send away our coal. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just because we now know. This is okay. I'm going to build a bunch of those because then we're going to go into this state here and we're going to do some automation. Okay, we know that we have our chemical plants here, our steel mills, our food industries, and our lead mines and our coal mines. So let's go into the coal mines here. And let's actually do this adjustment to reduce labors by 12,000. We don't have that option yet. And to do this here. So that'll give us more productivity on these mines, but it'll also give us more people here. This will give us this requires more coal and more tools. Reduces labors by 13,000. Should make it overall more productive once that coal, like once we get that coal. Nothing to do there in the food industry. Nothing to do there in terms of automation. So that should give us a lot more, that should give us like a bunch of unemployed people in the state. And then those people should fill in to these coal mines that we're now building. In fact, we need a lot of these. We have a single consumption tax. We haven't added mutual funds yet because we're working on this. But mutual funds, which would only take 13 months to research at this rate, would give us the privately owned modifier for a lot of the businesses. What are they now? Or sorry, publicly owned. Publicly owned. So that would add capitalists to the industries, and that would give us a lot more investment pool contribution, which would be kind of cool. If we choose to go that route, we got a 50% chance here for multiculturalism. That should be a big move. GDP looks like it's sort of going, you know, not quite. This is insane. This is insane. This still hasn't passed? Okay, we're just getting so unlucky here. It's fine because we've basically defeated the game, but it's just crazy to me. It's just these guys already hate us. These guys are marginalized. Yeah. That is crazy to me. 82% legitimacy, though. These guys want to even join the Liberal Party. 100% legitimacy. Get them in there. Although they're a little angry because we have a couple, they don't like the colonial affairs, which industrialists usually like that. Guy's a full-on vanguardist. Endorses autocracy, though. Interesting. Council Republic and autocracy. Rather than like, yeah, he's not an anarchist, so I guess that all kind of makes sense. But industrialists barely sort of like us, barely. making just insane amounts of money all of a sudden. Don't know what that's all about. Oh, because we're not building enough. Honestly, I think we build a couple construction offices. That'll increase the demand for steel, which these steel mines are complaining that there's not enough demand for steel. Oh, we talked about how we wanted to make the switch for the railways. We're going to make the switch for the rail. Holy cow, look at this. Look at this tea demand. This is a luxury drink. Tea, coffee, and wine. We have a lot of infrastructure. We have a lot of people that want to go to work here. Let's do this, and then let's just make sure we get those pumping jacks so we can double or triple the amount of tea that we get out of these fields. And that, I think all this together will be almost get us there. Not entirely, but yeah. Bring in most of our sugar, but we need more. I'm almost wondering, would it be that bad to get some more rice going? Would that really be so bad? Because this also gives us sugar, right? As a side hustle. But these are kind of lower end going ons, right? Like, I mean, they're not high end jobs, that's for sure. But there'll be technology and modernizations that I think will apply to them to make them useful even later into the game. Yeah, we just can't get enough hardwood. We might actually need to set up our own import for hardwood. We're trading out a lot of this, which is kind of annoying. Eventually the naval base will just use more of it. Can't seem to get enough textiles made to satisfy their own demand, let alone send out. Need tons of coal, and we're working on building all those coal mines, but we'll probably need even more. So now all of a sudden, we actually need everything again. Which is interesting. That's just going to increase the tool demand, won't it? While building all this stuff. Yeah, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the railways and switch these to have wood to add transportation and reduce infrastructure. We could start thinking about going up to this. This would take 500 electricity and a bunch of coal. For 1,000 services, though? This is steel. And it would save us wood. We'd need more glass and we need more steel. Which currently, we actually just need more steel. And we're doing okay in glass. But keeping it cheap won't be a bad thing. You know what we haven't done yet? And actually we need to do some automation here because we're running out of potential workers here. Let's get some some art going. I don't know exactly what this will be, how this will help exactly, but we'll make some art. That was kind of silly of us not to actually have that going, I think. Let's go to these sawing things and see if we can actually, do this to get rid of 25,000 laborers to free those people up to work in other industries in that area and just make the logging camps even more productive. Okay, so I think this is looking fairly good here with these things that we got queued up. I think honestly we could also, with the money that we're making, I think we could do some aggression if we wanted to, just sort of tickle into these areas a little bit. Alliance with Dynam. Man, it would be really cool actually if militarily though we could like this would only take 5 years to research. Like if we could get this trench infantry is extremely powerful compared to... We might actually... This is feeling like this is taking longer than I was expecting it to take, but... There's kind of two ways to look at this, right? We could go up to here and we could definitely have our capped amount of we could enhance our university significantly and cap out on innovation basically for the rest of the game. 8 years to do that though, it's still a little bit away. It's still kind of inefficient. This would be really big, I think. I really do think. Modern nursing I don't think would be bad. Like I said, getting this trench work though would be a huge advantage. I think militarily we're already at a big advantage over our neighbors anyways, but plus the pump jacks, the steam donkey, and the pump jacks, and the improved fertilizer, all of this stuff would be huge. All this stuff only takes 6... I mean, all this stuff is getting done in like a year. Like, we are researching at a really good pace. Why is this dipping down all of a sudden? What have we done? We've added the extra construction module, right? We had 2? We added 1 at least. The investment pool is looking a little lacking right now. Multiculturalism, I think, might actually just... I hate to do it, but I think we have to pull back these decrees at this point. That's going to hurt the economy a bit, but we'll see what kind of dip that actually makes. But 100% legitimacy. What are we passing now? What's the other thing? We talked about health. Yeah, we talked about health. Guaranteed liberties in health. This would make the industrialists kind of upset, to be honest. This would actually make them happy. And here's the funny thing. Our country's so wealthy. I've actually heard that because this base is more... If you have a higher standard of living, apparently this is actually optimal, apparently. No one's going to be upset by this. Yeah, let's do this. We have a really high standard of living in this country. Let's go for a private healthcare system. Again, I think the way the game is balanced, I've heard that it works out actually if you're industrialized and so on and so forth, that ends up being better. Man, reducing manufacturing output here by 20% throughput is like... I feel like this is going to be terrible to unclick this. But at the same time, it can't be worse than removing that consumption tax, and we're not going to have any authority anymore. We only have the popularity authority. We have the base authority. Yeah, we just don't have any authority anymore. That's okay. That's okay. Man, there's like 7 different things we want to research. Even getting like 10% more authority doesn't mean much when you have so little. You're working on electric capacitors. Why not just work on these other more basic things that we actually want? All of these things should be fairly productive, as long as we can get the dies coming in. We have so much bureaucracy. So much bureaucracy. And support additional declared interests. Is this... What is this? I was like, wait, is England attacking us? What's going on? Puppet who? Oh, this little country down here? All these little countries are teaming up against England. I hate to say it, but I don't think that's going to go that well for him. I don't think we're going to be saving the day. Oh, of course, we get the 20% instantly. So we get the 20% instantly. So now that we're... How are we doing on colonization? It still says 1,500. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hello? Removes all effects from severe malaria in your owned colonies in your owned colonies in states. Am I misreading this? Minus 95%, because do we have to like cancel and restart these or something? That's extremely annoying. We're going to be going at an amazing pace, though. We're going to be going at a great pace. I think this is the only place in the world we can actually colonize. Is these little itsy bitsy little bits that we got over here. Because all this has been sealed off. Oh, I guess technically we could do Indonesia. Right. No one's working on either of... Oh, wait, no. United States and the Dutch. No progress for the Dutch. United States is presumably taking a penalty for malaria. I think we might want to set that up. But I think we'll do that in the next episode. Guys, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. And things are... I mean, we're kind of at the point where we've kind of defeated the game as Burma, but it would be maybe nice to do a little bit of warfare just to kind of see how that goes, you know, how that works itself out. How that feels to flex a little bit in the region down here against Siam. But you can see how there's no diplomatic consideration until we want to do something, right? Like there was no threat from, you know, any of the countries around us until we're now potentially going to throw our weight around a touch. It's interesting that we're actually losing... Oh wait, do we still have... Are we still overpaying for government? No, we're not. Okay. I mean, truth is, if we wanted to make a ton of money, we could just raise taxes, actually. And I don't even think this would be that bad. I don't even think it'd be that bad. That's if we... I think we're okay, though. I don't think we even need to. I don't even think we need to. We have ways that we can actually bolster the investment pool, too. So, guys, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. I read all the comments and answer all the questions. And the playlist link down below in the video description will help get you to the next episode, guys. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it.